If you've been sitting down to create and nothing is coming, this is not a sign that you've lost your creativity. It's a sign that something deeper is happening. And today, I want to show you what that is. This might completely change how you see your creative pause. I hope so. But before I go any further, I want to say something about tarot and why I use it here. I'm not using tarot to predict the future. I'm using it as a language because each card represents an archetype, a pattern we move through as humans. Seasons of growth, contraction, transition, ignition. For me, tarot is a way of naming what we're experiencing when we don't quite have words for it yet, especially in creative life. It gives us a mirror, not superstition, reflection. So each week, I'm going to use a card as a starting point, not as a rule, not as a belief system that you have to adopt, just as a lens. There is a moment in every creative life when things go quiet. Not dramatic, not explosive, just quiet. You sit at the table. You pick up the fabric, and there is no spark. You wonder if you've lost it. You wonder if maybe that part of you is just done. If you've ever thought, I used to feel creative, what happened to me? This is for you. This week, I pulled a card for our creative life, the Hanged Man. And before you worry, this is not a negative card. It's a pause. And today, we're going to talk about what creative pauses actually are and what they're not. Traditionally, the Hanged Man represents suspension, a voluntary pause, a shift in perspective, a moment where forward motion stops so that insight can begin. It's not punishment. It's not failure. It's not collapse. It's a sacred interruption. The figure on the card is not struggling. He is hanging there by choice. There's even a halo around his head. This is enlightenment through stillness. Now, let's bring this into real life. In creative life, the hangman shows up when what used to work doesn't. When the energy you once had is not there. When production feels heavy. When you question your relevance. When you sit down and feel nothing. I know this season. I built a brand for 30 years. I was designing, producing, traveling, building. And then there was a moment when I didn't feel the same fire. Not because I didn't care, because something in me was shifting. But instead of seeing it as transition, I saw it as a loss. That's what we do. We assume quiet means decline. We assume pause means we're finished. But the hangman says something very different. It says, we are not being removed. We are being repositioned. When creativity goes quiet, it's often because your identity is reorganizing, especially in midlife. You are no longer who you were at 30. You are not meant to create the same way. The pause is not empty. It's integration. There is another layer here. Creative burnout is often nervous system overload. When you've been pushing, producing, proving, your body eventually says, enough. And it doesn't ask politely. It shuts the door. The hangman can represent the body forcing you into stillness. Not to harm you, to protect you. And this is where rhythm becomes really important. Because repetition tells the nervous system, you are safe. You are not under threat. You do not have to perform right now. And when the nervous system feels safe, creativity returns gently, not as pressure, as curiosity. Today, I want to pair the hangman with the simple stitches possible. A slow, repetitive, straight stitch. Nothing decorative, nothing impression. Just in, out. In, out. This stitch mirrors suspension. It does not rush forward. It does not demand beauty. It simply moves. When you repeat something simple like this for 10 minutes, your breathing slows. Your shoulders soften. Your thoughts quiet down. This is not about finishing something. It's about restoring rhythm. The pause becomes productive in a different way. It becomes regulating. If you're in a creative pause right now, consider this. Where in your life are you resisting stillness? Where are you trying to force momentum when your body is asking for suspension? What if this season is not about producing something new, but about seeing differently? The hanged man is not the end of the story. It is the moment before insight, the breath before ignition. If this feels familiar, if you recognize yourself in this season, I want you to know you don't have to navigate it alone. I created something called the 7-Day Stitch Circle. It is completely free. For 7 days, we slow down together. Each day includes one simple stitch, one gentle reflection, one small moment of rhythm. No pressure, no perfection, no big project to complete, just repetition, just calm, just reconnection. If you're in a creative pause, this is a safe place to begin again. You can join through the link below. And if this resonated, tell me in the comments. Are you in a pause or are you coming out of one? I read every message. I'll see you inside the circle.